Hello and welcome to the Captain's Table. I'm your host, Dawn Deckman-Moeller, and today we have Gary Gatewood and his mother, Mrs. Rose Gatewood. We are so excited to have Gary and his mom with us today. A little bit about Gary. I don't want to tell too much because we're going to learn about his wonderful sports and Hollywood career during the show. Gary attended the University of Oregon, and he played D1 basketball for the Ducks. He was drafted by the Seattle Sonics in 1984 and played for the Puerto Rico Coquille of the CBA. He spent a brief time as a free agent wide receiver with the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. And he also coached high school AAU travel basketball and Nike Elite High School basketball in Portland, Oregon for several years. Gary is very involved in sports, and we're going to find out a lot, hopefully, from Mrs. Rose Gatewood about the beginning of his sports career and moving into his professional career during the show. We're going to also learn in segment 3 about how Gary's career pivoted to the motion picture industry, working as a DP, that's a director of photography, camera operator, camera assistant, and lighting technician on a combination of feature films, television shows, commercials, industrial videos, and music videos. He's going to tell us about some of the projects that he worked on because some of his projects had 4 Academy nominations, feature films, which is just amazing. We are so happy to have you here today, Gary and Rose. And we're going to start out today and learn a little bit about, where you grew up and where did the love for basketball come in? And there's also an organization that you were involved in called the Blazers. So we're just going to open it up for some conversation. So let's just talk to the audience and talk about where you grew up.
Yeah, first of all, thanks, Don, for having us on.
You're welcome.
It was real nice of you and Tom to reach out to us and want to learn a little bit about me. That's not an everyday occurrence. Well, I guess we can go back to where my interest in sports came. You're interested in what you're good at. And I figured out really early on in school, in elementary school level, that I was fast. I jumped pretty high. I was just really athletic. And I was always in the top group of guys when it was time to race or play basketball or play tetherball or kickball or anything. I was always in that group that was at the top of the chain. And basketball just kind of, it was the Lakers that initially, and Jerry West in particular. I'd watch him, and I just tried to emulate Jerry West when I was a little boy. That was it. It was done for me. My initial love was music. I played the drums and the trumpet.
Oh my gosh! And, wow, well-rounded.
Well, it wasn't all that great. I was in the 3rd and 4th grade, but that was my interest.
Rose, how did you like your son practicing the drums? Was he practicing at school or in a garage?
He was not practicing at home. It was at school.
At school, there is.
So I didn't have to hear that noise.
There you go. So go ahead.
Well, basketball, it just, most sports just came natural to me. I was really good at emulating, watching what someone does and emulating and trying to do exactly what they were doing. And it just kind of was a natural for me. And I got my acceptance, if you will, in the neighborhood and with my friends. And, we moved around a lot. In every new school I went to, I got my acceptance because of my athleticism, because of basketball in particular.
You got your street creds.
I got my street cred, that's right. I was born in Des Moines, Iowa, and then we moved to California.
Okay.
And before we got settled, we moved to San Francisco, then to Oakland, and then eventually to L.A.
Okay.
And then once we got to L.A., it was several schools until I got to junior high school. And so every school that I went to, I was the new kid. And sometimes it was middle of a school year. Everybody looked at me. They didn't know me. I didn't know them. But when recess came, there I was. And after one recess, I knew everybody, and we were just best friends. So that's kind of how it got started for me.
Well, Rose, I know parents often say, especially probably military parents that move around a lot, kids are resilient, but not always. But it sounds like you found a way to jump into these school years, and sports was a way to get some respect, I guess. Be accepted quickly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, all of that. We lived in decent neighborhoods, but how kids are. There's mean girls and there's mean boys, and there's all kinds of situations you can get yourself into. But at least back then, you got that respect because of, of your athletic ability. There, you can avoid the trouble that was inherently around the corner by being good in sports.
Well, Rose, that must have been kind of bricks off your shoulders as a mom, knowing that your son is just a great kid, not having to worry about him. I mean, it's not always easy to move to move around. I mean, I've moved around too, and trying to fit in and all that. What was some of your memories, Rose, of watching your son just, hitting the pavement and going into a school new in the middle of the year and coming home saying, this is going to be okay. I've got a good football team there, a good basketball team.
Basketball. He was very, very, very happy with basketball. And we did move a lot. I worked for the government, so I got to move different places. And every place we went, he played basketball. And I think he was discovered at a playground by Blazer coaches and was put on the team. But that team, the members, had to be, other than playing basketball, they had to keep their grades up also. And that was an interesting thing that does not happen today.
How old was he, Rose, when he was approached by some Blazer coaches?
Fifth grade, I think it was.
Fifth?
Well, fifth grade?
Yeah, it was fifth grade.
Maybe 12, 13. Talk to me about the Blazers. I have the website pulled up, theblazers.org, wonderful organization that started in 1969, I think, that I read on their history. But tell me about what that experience was and how you got to, did you have to go like audition and play, or did you have to show your grades? What was the prerequisites?
So I was playing a lot of basketball, but I was also starting to, notice some of the bad things that were happening in the neighborhood, and you know how it is. Sometimes you almost get caught up in it. And I think I was almost going that direction for a minute. But the Blazer organization, I knew nothing about it. I was just asked to come to this tryout. There was another kid that was with me, and we were asked to come to this to the gym at, I think it was at Hamilton High School in LA, where we practiced, and to come in and see if we could fit in and if we could play, and we did, so it wasn't just basketball either, as my mom was saying.
Mm-hmm.
We had to keep our grades up, which was, my mom was a single parent, and I could be a handful, I know, and Benny and the other coaches were always there to pull me in the right direction. So it was really a life-saving event for me. If I look back on it, many of the good things that happened in my life, the genesis was being pulled into that program with Benny Davenport. Our other coach was Oswald Walks. We had Abdul Rahman, who was also formerly known as Walt Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting a couple guys, but we had some real men in that program who would really hold us accountable, and that didn't take. I was so afraid of Benny. Benny was a hard guy, but we needed that. There was a team full of hardheads, talented kids. A lot of the guys went on to play college and professional basketball and football as well. So it was a competition every day. It was a battle for position there. But it's what I think every kid who's on the cusp of going this way or that way, those kind of programs and that kind of mentorship is real important to kids. What we call them now is at-risk youth, right? So
yes.
We were all at-risk youth, and there was Benny and the Westside Blazers to get us in there. And they're still in operation today, which is an incredible thing in South Central LA.
No, and they are. And I believe the program in 94 expanded the vision to include an after-school program and open the Blazers Safe Haven for Learning. So that's located in the inner city of LA and I think the 8th district of LA. But what a great organization, Rose. That must have been really a saving grace. And just to know that, summers, right? We got a lot of time on our hands as kids in the summers.
That's exactly right. The Blazers were a lifesaver for Gary and for me. They were coaches on that team that took no nonsense. And if you didn't, they even knew when your grades were bad. If you had a bad grade in a certain class, they knew about it before I knew about it, because they would check up on these kids and made them more responsible, which was a good thing. And summer, it took care of all the summer recreation and dues for Gary that I didn't have to really think about. It was all taken care of by the Blazers.
Oh, my goodness. That's remarkable. What a blessing.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Was that through sixth grade? How many years were you actively involved in the Blazers in your teen puberty years?
Well, they had several age group of teams. Again, I started, I think it was in the 5th grade, 6th grade. And we played all the way up until we got into high school. So we played all the way up until back then high school started in the 10th grade.
Right.
Well, at least some of the schools. So we played all the way up until the 9th grade was our last year playing with them. And it was just, it shaped all of our lives. I can mention a few guys, Cliff Pruitt, Leon Wood, Darren Day. There are guys that all played. Cliff and Darren played at UCLA. Leon played, I think he played at Arizona. There was a lot of guys that, and that's kind of what I modeled my team. That's what I kind of modeled my youth and AAU teams after the Blazers. I got them young. My sons played for me as well. Got those teams young and carried them all the way into high school, and we'd go play the big tournaments. That was always the thing with my boys. I'd say, you think you're really good? Well, let's put this team together and go on the road and see how good you are, because, you're good in this neighborhood, but the real test is when you go up against teams from New York, and we were in Portland, teams from New York and LA and Oakland and Houston, and, you really have to sample the waters to see how good you are, and that's the way to get it done.
Well, also...
There was another thing. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
There was another thing that the Blazers, these kids got to go across the country to play in other states and got a lot of knowledge from that. And that was appreciated by me and all the mothers, I think, to have these boys go and see what was going on in another state, on the East Coast to the South and all over. It was very, very good.
Gary, did you all listen, we're somewhere in the same age group. They didn't have minivans back then. They had station wagons. Did you fly, or did you do some road trips with the traveling ball with the Blazers at that time? How did you travel?
Well, inside of California, we drove. But then when we went out of state, we were in West Virginia, Cincinnati, Vegas. Anytime out of state, we would fly. So we had to do some fundraising.
Yes.
And, that's another thing that is good. You have to earn your keep, not just by your play on the court, but you're going to have to sell some chocolate. You're going to have to knock on some doors. You're going to get some family members to buy some things. You have to own this and perform if you want to go on these trips. So
absolutely.
It taught us a little bit of responsibility.
We're going to come back and take a very quick break for our sponsor. And we're going to come back and learn more about the raising of the money with the Blazer organization. And then we're going to pivot into the second segment on a little bit about your career in college and your professional career. And then I want to hear much more about the AAU traveling basketball. So stand by for just a moment.
Your addiction could cost you everything. Your job, your children, your loved ones, maybe even your life. Face it, you need help. Call Better Addiction Care now. It's time to end your addiction to drugs and alcohol. Help is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter who you are, where you're located, or your financial situation. Our network of treatment centers can guide you before it's too late and you hurt yourself or your loved ones again. We're Better Addiction Care and can help put an end to your addiction. Plus, your insurance may cover up to 100% of costs. Don't wait another moment. Your life could depend on making the call right now. There's still time to get back what addiction addiction is taken away, this could be the most important call of your life.
Call 800-247-0941. 800-247-0941. 800-247-0941. That's 800-247-0941.
Fans of The Andy Griffith Show are raving about a brand new streaming series.
Chris Stone, what are you doing back here in Mayberry?
Your neighbors know they're living next door to a famous movie star yet?
He hasn't answered any of my calls.
That girl's headed right for Heartbreak Alley.
An old-fashioned love story in a modern-day Mayberry.
Yes!
A streaming series for the whole family.
Who's the only TV character named after two insects? And bee, of course.
Grandma's cat ate all the laxatives, and, well, we've got ourselves a situation.
Crazy, right?
Don't take any wooden nickels. Wooden nickels. That's a good one.
Those low-down, dirty buzzards.
It's an honor to be here. In fact, at my age, it's an honor to be anywhere.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Bravissimo.
We don't know what you're missing.
Mayberry Man, the series. Now available on Prime Video.
These people are living in another world.
For anyone who's worried about back taxes, has not filed tax returns, and doesn't know what to do next, stop and listen. Not filing your taxes can have severe consequences, especially in this political climate. Now that COVID is over, the IRS is getting aggressive, massively increasing enforcement and collection efforts. With politicians making all sorts of promises, especially when it comes to taxes, hiding and not dealing with your taxes will cause you harsh legal and financial ramifications. But right now, the IRS offers forgiveness and writes off a massive amount of tax debt. The Tax Doctor offers a free service that helps people get out of IRS collections and back in good standing with the government. Don't hide or bury your head in the sand. Take advantage of our free service. Call now to learn more. 800-368-1307. 800-368-1307. 800-368-1307. That's 800-368-1307.
Welcome back to the Captain's Table. I'm your host, Dawn Deckman-Moeller, and we are talking with Gary Gatewood and Mrs. Rose Gatewood today, and really learning a lot about his sports career, which really started with the Blazers organization for young kids. And we're going to talk more about really his professional after college, and he's done amazing things as far as basketball and football. So let's kind of pivot a little bit, Gary. Talk to me about college and how your career took off out of high school.
Sure. High school was another step. There were a lot of guys from our team, the Blazers team, that went to other high schools, but there was a group of them that went to one particular high school, which was Verbum Day, and lots of guys in LA know about Verbum Day. They're a storied school with a great basketball history. I went a different route. I went to Fairfax High School.
Okay.
And we weren't necessarily known to be this basketball powerhouse. And it just by happenstance, I got there with a group of guys who were motivated, who could play, who maybe didn't have the AAU youth basketball pedigree that I had, but they could really play. And we gelled as a team, and we had a coach that kept us. He did a really good job. We complained about it a little bit because we didn't get to do some of the individual things that we like to do. We had to play more team basketball, but Coach Steve Miller, who just got inducted into the LA City CIF section Hall of Fame this year. I went to his ceremony.
CIF. Gary, what does AAU stand for? I wanted to ask that.
Amateur Athletic Union.
Thank you. Okay, go on.
And so that team, we won 2 city championships. There weren't state championships at the time. So you had city championships, and then you had another section for the northern section, which is the Bay Area. But in Los Angeles, we kind of came out of nowhere, and we won my junior and senior year. We won 2 city championships, and a lot of my teammates went on to play college basketball from there.
And this was all at Fairfax High School?
This is all at Fairfax. Right?
Did you go have lunch over at Cantor's Deli?
All the time. All the time.
Rose, did you ever have a little corned beef on rye over at Cantor's?
I don't know that my mom ever went there. She came to the games when she could from work. But, we were on lunch break all the time. And Fairfax is right on the corner of Fairfax and Melrose.
That's
and
right. I worked on Melrose.
Hot dog stand, Pinks, and Cantors, and all these places we would go for lunch.
I think
pretty famous places now, but
very famous.
But anyways, I was fortunate. I've been fortunate. I admit that Blazer team, as I said, had a number of guys that could play and went on to play college and professional. Well, that Fairfax team, I had a teammate that played at Utah, another teammate that played at Cal Berkeley, another one that played at Idaho, various colleges. And so, like I said, it's never been just me. Right. I've always been surrounded by really good players.
Mm-hmm.
And basketball, I've described it many times. It's kind of a dance. All parts have to be moving in motion and knowing where the other one's going. And
yes.
I've been fortunate to have guys with really good basketball IQ and toughness and, a will to win. And I've been surrounded by that.
What positions did you play?
The University of Oregon.
I apologize. What positions?
In college?
In high, through high school.
I've always played two guard, shooting guard.
Okay.
My teammates might say gunning guard. That was a nickname they called me, Gary the Gunner, because I shot the ball.
I love
probably more than they wanted.
Yeah.
But I always felt like anytime I shot, it had a better chance of going in than when they did.
So how did the Ducks? They have famous colors. It's that very specific green. I don't know what you call that. And gold, isn't it? Green and gold.
Yeah, that was a change for me. Fairfax was crimson and gold, and then now Oregon is green and gold was emerald green and gold was the colors. But these days the uniforms there is no color. Well, the team official color is that green and gold. But as you probably know, they wear various uniforms with different colors. They wear black. They wear silver.
Yes.
They've done everything except, I think, blue and red. No, they wore a blue uniform one time.
So is that where you wanted to go? Is that where you got picked up? Tell me how that worked. Were there any other universities that were fighting for you?
Yeah.
I have to say that
ma'am.
He had boxes of letters from other schools to play for them after high school. Boxes of letters.
Rose.
Yeah, letters are common. I wouldn't say common, but if you're a good athlete and you're one of the top players, getting a bunch of letters is not uncommon. It's the offers, right, that are important. And I knew I wanted to stay on the West Coast. A lot of my friends, Michael Holton, my cousin Darren Day, my former AAU teammate Cliff Pruitt, they were all going to UCLA. I would have loved to go to UCLA, but there was no spot for me there.
The Bruins.
But I also wanted to get out of LA, so I had that kind of tugging at me too. But I wanted to stay on the West Coast. I wanted to stay in the Pac-10 at the time, Pac-10.
Yes.
And my mom, I think she wanted me to go to Oregon State because of their coach, Ralph Miller. He used to coach at Iowa, and because we're from Iowa, I think she wanted me to go there. But
well, you have to do what your mom. You had to do what your mom wanted, right, Rose?
Yeah, no. Oregon is where I wanted to go. I didn't want to go to Oregon State. So, yeah, Oregon was I made a great choice there, I think. I didn't know it at the time. It was a choice I made, and I knew I was going to have, I was going to enjoy it, but I didn't know how much I would enjoy it. I didn't know how much, I had never really traveled to the Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
We traveled to the East Coast, and we traveled, to Las Vegas and other places to play. But I really had no idea what was above California. To be honest with you.
Well, I grew up in Burbank. I'm like, Burbank, where's Malibu? How do I get to the beach when you get your driver's license? Other than that, you had the mountains. You had kind of everything in the LA area. Who needed to go? Who needed to go anywhere else?
No, there was nothing other than LA. I was just. But when they said Oregon, I really had to pull out a map and go, where is Oregon?
Yeah, I went to Oregon for the first time 2 years ago. So there you go. It's beautiful.
Oh,
so
you liked it, huh?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful there. What a great place to go to college. Did Rose, were you able to, while he was in school there, did you head up there at all, or were you coming down for summers?
Times.
Several.
Yeah, several times I went up there to see games. Some of my friends went also.
Oh.
And I have to say, after Gary, during his first year, he didn't know what was going on or happening or anything. And he called me one day and said, I'm ready to leave here. I'm coming home. And I said, no, you're not. We're going to stay right there until after that first year. And during that latter part of the season, he decided to stay. I told him that your room is already cleaned out, so you cannot come back here.
Yeah, that was an interesting time.
Tough love.
I didn't feel like we were playing the style of basketball that I thrived in.
Okay.
And also I stayed for that first summer to go to summer school to get some credits. And my birthday is July 18th, middle of the summer. And I'm used to 100-degree temperatures on my birthday and the beach, and it was hailing on my birthday. And I remember calling my mom and said, Mom, it's raining and hailing here.
I want to come home.
I need to come home and go to the beach.
You had some tough love there, Rose. You have to do that as parents.
Yeah, I had to. It was not an easy time for me to see Gary go so far away, but I knew that it was best. He had more experience and all of that, and it's easy just to come home, but you had to toughen it out, and he did.
And I didn't ask you, Rose, do you have other children besides Gary? And I apologize. I just...
That's right. I had a daughter who was 2 years older than Gary. But she passed away of cancer, so we all loved her. Gary and her had their problems, but they worked all that out, and it was a good thing. It was good.
Brothers and sisters, and I'm sorry, both of you. I'm so sorry for your loss of your sister, but I see you, Rose, as such just a strong mother, the kind of mom that a lot of kids need to have. You know.
I tell you, I thank her every day. I've thanked her numerous times for. Sorry to anybody that's still back in Des Moines, Iowa, but I thank her so many times for moving us out of Des Moines, Iowa, because I have no idea what kind of turns my life would have taken if I'd stayed there. I don't know if I'd have been exposed to some of the things that I needed to be exposed to, that I was exposed to in L.A.
Well, this is just amazing. So you stayed at Oregon, and then let's pivot to some of the teams you were drafted to.
Yes. Had a fun career at Oregon. Once I got it figured out a little bit, there was a coaching change in there, so there was a little bit of a bump in the road. But I was drafted by the Sonics, 7th round. There is no 7th round these days.
Okay.
And at the same time, I went into the locker room, and there was a letter in my locker from the Dallas Cowboys. And
of course.
And yeah, that happens to everybody, right?
Right.
And I loved basketball because I was really good at it, right? But I lived to wake up in the morning on Sunday morning and watch football. And I wouldn't miss Monday Night Football. And I loved college football on Saturdays and still do. So that was kind of my hidden first love. And I didn't get to pursue it like I wanted to in high school. I kind of specialized in basketball. And I had a little bad luck. I went to my freshman year. I was at another school. I was at Culver City. And there was a coach there of the freshman team. And this guy, I wouldn't say he didn't like me. I would say he didn't quite know what he had. And, I was, like I said, I was always natural. And I couldn't get on the playing field. I mean, this guy wouldn't play me. I mean, games went by when I'd look at him like, dude, are you going to put me in the game? Mm-hmm. And he just wouldn't put me in the game. And then I remember basketball season came, and there I am flying all over the court. And I'm jumping out of the gym, and I'm doing all these crazy things, scoring all the points. And the varsity coach was like, you should be playing football. I'm like, yeah, I wanted to play football. This coach, I think his name was Coach Fuller, he wouldn't put me in the game. I mean, I sat there all year like a good little boy and couldn't get in the game. But anyways, there was a letter from the Dallas Cowboys, and they wanted me to think about coming to play football as a free agent. Wanted to offer me a free agent contract.
What'd you think about that, Rose?
Well, I didn't know what to think about it. It was a big change.
Yes. And
I knew that he had not played in high school football, except 1 year. But he played basketball. But I was sort of leery at first, and then I thought, well, hey, go try it. And there was a Oregon quarterback who played down, where did he play?
You talking about Dan Fouts?
Yes. Dan Fouts was in the pros. He played at Oregon. And we saw him one day, and he says, why not? Go try.
Actually, I rode on the plane with Dan. I think I was on my way to Dallas, and he was on the plane with me. And we talked about going down there to play football and, give it a go, give it your all. And it was fun. It was an experience. Obviously, I didn't make the team and turn into an all-pro wide receiver. But it was an experience. I look back on all my experiences with no regrets. I just had fun. You don't get to do things if you don't go do them and try them.
Absolutely.
And I've kind of lived my life with that in mind, that there's nothing that's too crazy to try, and open mind to everything, and closed mouth doesn't get fed, and opportunities don't come to those that sit on their hands and do nothing. So
well spoken. Well spoken. We're going to take a real quick break for our sponsors. And when we come back, Gary, I want to learn a little bit about the coaching that you did in high school with the AAU traveling team and your sons. And then we're going to wrap up the show with the fact that Gary participated in the making of 4 Academy Award-nominated feature films. And you have to say, what else does he do? We'll be right back. Stand by.
This important national healthcare update is brought to you by the Hearing Helpline. Now, you can make a free phone call and save big over what you'd pay at a doctor's office for hearing aids. Plus, this offer comes with a 1-year warranty. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, shipping is 100% free. We have a nationally known hearing aid that has improved the hearing of thousands of happy customers. And you'll pay a fraction of retail hearing aids prices. These outstanding hearing aids are nearly invisible. You can even use them to answer your cell phone. And they come with a 45-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose and better hearing to gain. I urge you to improve your hearing for you and your loved ones and call the Hearing Helpline now. 800-208-2172. 800-208-2172. 800-208-2172. That's 800-208-2172.
Ready to make your brand stand out? At Amplify AI Media, we combine the power of artificial intelligence with creative expertise to elevate your marketing strategy. Our AI-driven approach ensures that every decision is data-backed, every campaign is targeted, and every result is impactful. We amplify your brand's voice louder and clearer than ever before. Amplify AI Media, where innovation meets precision. Visit amplifymedia.ai. Why settle for ordinary when extraordinary is within reach?
Listen up, fellow timeshare owners. If you're a timeshare owner and you want out at all costs, you're done, frustrated, tired of wasting money, you don't use the darn thing. Get out now. Hire the best Bulldog timeshare cancellation team in the business. Their in-house legal team, headed by a timeshare cancellation lawyer, can help you fight the biggest and baddest companies out there that sell timeshare. At some point, you were using your timeshare, but now you're not, and you're tired of wasting money. Before you go to the poorhouse, call right now and learn how you can stop the maintenance fees and put more money back in your pocket. Their services cost you a lot less than you think, and you'll save a lot of money over time. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline now. It's a free consultation.
800-879-1145. 800-879-1145. 800-879-1145. That's 800-879-1145.
Welcome back to the Captain's Table. I'm your host, Dawn Deckman-Moeller, and we are talking with Gary Gatewood and his mother, Mrs. Rose Gatewood, learning a ton about being a part of the Blazers organization as a kid, playing basketball, drafted to the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys as a free agent. And in the next segment here, we want to learn a little bit about how he's taken everything that he's learned, and with a great mom behind him that had to do a little bit of tough love, and how you're sharing with how you have shared with your son's other kids and what you're currently doing in the area of mentoring and coaching kids.
Yes. I started coaching to try to give my sons the same opportunities that I had coming up. And I decided at one point I'm just going to put them in a couple programs and just watch. And like so many other athletes, I'm sure many stories very similar to mine, guys that played, they watch what's going on and go, okay, I got to help. I got to participate. I can't just sit by and watch this. So I started coaching them immediately. I started helping the coach, and thankfully they were receptive and actually wanting me to without asking. And then after that first year, I decided let's put a couple teams together. I got together with another guy named Virgil Williams Goss, and we created a program called the Portland Hoop Kings. We had different grades of teams. My sons are very close in age, 1 year apart.
Okay.
And so we created those two teams, and we tried to put them on the path. And we won everything in the state of Oregon. And then we took that show on the road and had lots of success, on the road as well. Their paths were very similar to mine in that regard.
What are your sons' names?
Miles and Cole.
Well, we wanted Miles and Cole on the show, but we weren't able to do it this time. But maybe if we get to do another interview, we'll get to have them both on.
Yeah, I think so. We played, we had fun, we practiced, we traveled. Our vacations were basketball related. We could have taken a lot of other vacations, but it turns out that, we were always on the road. And sometimes with these two teams, I had to choose. One team would be playing in Seattle, and another one would be at the coast, or one would be in Oakland, and the other one would be in Vegas. I had to choose sometimes which team to go, which of my kids to go watch. But I coached the older group, Miles's team, and was an assistant coach on my younger son, Cole's team. So that kind of made the decision for me many times. But yeah, they had a great time, created lifelong friends. In fact, we just heard from one of my youngest son's teammates who's in town today. We're going to go to breakfast tomorrow. And I see these guys all the time. I see them at Blazer games, and I see them on the street. And some I recognize, some have changed a lot, some look exactly the same.
Uh-huh.
Right? But, I hope they have a feeling for me the way I do about Benny. I admire Benny and what he's done. And he's much more committed than I was. Okay, he's run this program for years, decades. I've not done that. Okay, so I'm not comparing myself to Benny. But I hope the experience that we put together for these kids is something they'll always remember.
Well, our producer did mention Benny to me, and I don't think it would have been really easy to get him on the show. But like I said, maybe if we get to do this again, we'll have to have your sons and maybe him on the show also to hear a different perspective. So how old are your boys right now?
I think my oldest son is 32.
Okay.
And my youngest son is 31.
So are they still playing basketball, even for fun?
They do go in the gym from time to time, but not like I used to. I wouldn't say they didn't love the game, but I had an obsession for the game. So I played well into my late 40s. Even in the 50s, I played city leagues, and if there was a gym and a ball bouncing, I wanted to be in there. So they're still playing.
Yeah.
Best they can. My oldest son, he played at West Texas A&M. My youngest son played at Umpqua Community College. My oldest son tore his Achilles tendon, and that's kind of derailed his, he's had issues with that since college. So that's kind of slowed him down. I know he would like to play more. My youngest son still plays as often as he can. But things have changed. I don't know that they have city leagues, abundance of city leagues here like they used to when I was their age. So.
Yeah, it does. It does change, but there's still community programs across the United States. Thank goodness, So, Rose, when did you move up to Oregon?
When my grandchildren were playing high school basketball, I moved from California up here to Portland. I can't remember. They were like seniors or juniors in the high school.
Sure.
I think you came up in 2008, and they were like...
Was it 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I came up here so I could see basketball with them playing and see them more often. Otherwise, I would only come up for July and Christmas.
Well,
so it was more fun. Yeah.
Get to be closer to the grandkids and all of that, Rose.
Yeah.
The tough grandma. Tough love grandma. I know that you're a wonderful grandmother. Absolutely.
Well, I didn't try to be as tough with them as I was with Gary.
No, cut him just a tad bit of slack. So, Rose, let me ask you, what did you think as we pivot into our final 10 minutes of the show when Gary picked up a camera and said, I'm going to work in the Hollywood business, but maybe not actually in Hollywood? Tell me about that pivot, and what did you think about that, Rose?
Well, the first time I found out about it, I was on an airplane, and I never read those magazines that are on the airplane, and I happened to pick up one, and I was thumbing through the pages, and I saw this ad, and this kid was advertising this particular product. And I said, that kid looks familiar. And it happened to be Gary. He did not tell me that he was doing a commercial.
Gary.
But, yeah. I had closed the magazine and put it back in the rack, and then I thought, that kid looks familiar to me. But he had a lot of commercials. And behind the camera work, TV shows, movies, and I think it was a great, great experience. I was quite excited.
Did he ever take you on the set at all? Or did you get to be an extra or do anything in the shows?
No. I did go to some of the sets, though, and it was fascinating. And I found out how they make some of these movies, and it's not what you think it is. It's very entailed.
Yeah. A lot of hard work, a lot of long hours.
Yes.
It's hard to bring someone on, at least in my position in the camera department, because we're always so involved in the filmmaking process. There's very little time to chat and talk and bring someone on set and really attend to them the way you would like to. We're involved in the actual shot. We're involved in the setting up for the next shot. So there's very little time to be that host.
Well, you always just make sure your mom always knows where craft services is. That's my that's my favorite table when I do background work is craft services. Stand by for just a moment.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-659-7805. 800-659-7805. 800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Are you interested in financial technology or science topics? How about underreported issues? If so, check out the news media outlet, UCast News and UCast Studios. That's www.ucaststudios.com.
Are you confused about Medicare? Center for Healthcare Rights is here to help. The Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program, or HICAP, offers LA County residents free, unbiased information to guide you through Medicare options, enrollment, and benefits. To schedule your free counseling session, call us at 1-800-434-0222. That's 1-800-434-0222, or visit healthcarerights.org. Center for Healthcare Rights. We help people navigate Medicare.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-890-1032. 800-890-1032. 800-890-1032. That's 800-890-1032.
Welcome back to the Captain's Table. We are talking with Gary Gatewood and his mother, Mrs. Rose Gatewood. Gary, with your Hollywood career, were you working in Hollywood? Because you were in the business for about 30 years. So was Mom still in the LA area when you were working, and did you continue working when you moved? I'm trying to figure out, did you come down to LA or what?
I started in Portland.
Okay.
Of all places. The first few movies, there was a stream of production, USA Movie of the Week, 20-day shoots, 20 to 30-day shoot movies that were coming to Portland. So I got my first start in Portland on a feature, not a feature film, it was on a TV movie that we called The Haunting of Sarah Hardy, and it had Morgan Fairchild and Celia Ward in it.
Oh, Morgan Fairchild. Wow.
And, on that movie, I'll tell you, I want to share this because I've shared this with kids all the time. I was working in transportation on that first movie. I was driving a 15-passenger van. I was picking up actors and talent from the hotel and taking them to set. Mm-hmm. And there was a camera guy, a local camera guy, and he had a flat tire one night. And, if you know camera department, we're shooting, there's not time for him to go do anything. He's just going to have to wait till the end of the evening. So he came to the transportation department and said, "Can you guys help me out and change my tire for me?" And one of the guys said, "Yeah, give me $100 and I'll do it for you." Right. And he walked away kind of angry about that. I ran up to him and I said, "Listen, I'll change your tire. Give me the keys. All I want you to do is from time to time, when you're putting your camera together in the morning and when you're servicing the camera or you get a moment to come on the camera truck, is show me what you guys do, how you put the camera together, how you service it, how you load film." So he started showing me things. This is how you present a lens, and this is how you put a lens back in the case. You close the aperture. And here he gave me some dummy loads and put me in the dark room and said, "Here's how you load film." And then one night, it was really, really difficult shooting night. 2 cameras, it was raining, sleet, and it came over the radio that the camera department needed help and to get Gary Gatewood up here because he knows, he knows what I've been showing him. Get him up here. And from that night on, I was in the camera department making more money than I was in the transportation department.
Rose.
That guy wanted $100, and I think I got a $200 a day bump of pay.
It sounds like he became the Benny mentor to you in the Hollywood business, and you found a mentor.
I did. He took me under his wing, and he was local here in Portland.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of the movies that came, so I would start working for him as his assistant, and then he got a lot of the commercials here in Portland, and he really got me started in the camera department. Really did.
That's a fantastic story. The tenacity, just being there at the right place at the right time. And like you said, actually, you had a little phrase, something about getting work or staying put or opening your mouth. I don't know. But we've got about 4 more minutes left. I pivot over to some of the projects that you worked on that others might find on your IMDb and maybe not on your IMDb.
Sure. You mentioned the Academy Award nominated shows, and those were all towards the end of my career. That was with an animation studio, formerly Will Vinton Studios. You know, the greats.
Yes.
I did a TV series. It was a Eddie Murphy TV series called The PJs on that. And then years later, that company turned into Leica. It was bought by Phil Knight, Travis Knight of Nike, Nike folks. And we did movies, stop motion animation movies, which is really long process, really tedious work for the animators. For us in the camera department, we're assigned a bunch of different sets, and we go and light them, and we send the animators on to do the animation. But those movies were Coraline, which everybody loves. I mentioned Coraline.
Yes.
People go crazy. Coraline.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Paranorman, the Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings. All of those were Academy Award nominated for Best Animated Features. We didn't win, but it was good to be nominated, and those were...
Did you go to the Oscars when you were nominated as a team?
I didn't. No, I didn't. We Travis went, and some of the heads of departments that were, in production went, producers went.
I mean, 4
I suppose I could have gone. Yeah, I suppose I could have gone, but no, I didn't.
You could have, if you had gone, Gary, you could have taken your mother.
Yeah, hindsight. That's what
Rose, isn't that just amazing, just with all of his success, to also have 4 Academy Award-nominated feature film projects on the resume?
Well, his whole career has been, it's just been great. And I'm so happy for him. I have to tell you, though, the movie Paranorman, I had a T-shirt that had Paranorman on the front or the back. I can't remember. But everybody in the office said, Paranorman, Paranorman. I saw that movie. They all saw this movie. And I said, well, my son worked on that. Oh. And I heard from everybody that said they saw that movie. And then one lady wanted to introduce her daughter, have Gary give her some advice about introducing her daughter who does costumes.
I love that. See?
So
it's just, it's going to go on. And next time I talk to you, I'm going to type your name in, and Wikipedia is going to have 4 more pages of all your successes. Maybe. Well, in closing, we're out of time for the show. Is there anything that you want to share, Gary or Rose, with our audience that you think is important for them to know about just, how you got to your successes?
Yeah, I would just say if there was any, I'm an older guy now. I would say to the youth, the kids, don't be closed-minded. I mentioned that earlier in the show. Try different things. There's more than one path to success. Have fun, dream big, and then step to that dream. It's not enough to just dream. You have to, I wanted to be a college basketball player, so I got there somehow. I wanted to be in the movie business. I got there somehow. I stumbled into acting by accident, but that was a byproduct of working in the movie industry. I'm doing a couple endeavors right now that I dreamed of doing, owning my own business. And, there's a number of things you can do. You have to step to them. They're just not going to come drop in your lap. You have to make the moves, and they're all doable. If a man can do it, you can do it too. That's it.
Those are great words. And also to have a great mom like your mother, Rose, on your side, standing right by you. It has been a delight to visit with both of you today. This is the first show I've done with a mother-son in the last 3 years. So this was really an honor for me, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, this is the first one we've done.
Well, you're going to have a great memory to also share with your friends. And down the road, we're going to have this show on KABC Talk Radio, 790 in Los Angeles. So in the meantime, thank you everyone for joining us today on the Captain's Table podcast show. Have a great day.